Evening, guys. It's about 6:58 at night. It's the 31st of January, 2025. Anniversaries are coming up and haunting my ass, despite the fact that we got politics trying to ruin everybody else's life. I tried not to get into it as much. I'm coming across memories on Facebook. They go as far as the first posting of each day. I came across something about 10 years ago that changed portions of my life, and some decisions I still regretted a long time ago. Without getting into the politics, let's just get into the memories. Back in 2013, our mother, my brothers, David and me, had our mother dying tonight, 10 years ago. Or 11 years ago, so it was 11 or 12. It's 2013, so it's 25. Yeah, it's about 12 years ago. And our last meal in about a few hours for now will be, or at the time, was pomelos. I never remember if pomelos came in ruby red or not. This one I picked out from the store, and this current timeline wasn't as sweet, but it wasn't sour either. Granted, it had some little flavor to the sweetness, but not much. Sour as memories, I guess. I thought it was yellow. Maybe it was red back then. I forgot what it was looked like. Didn't think of taking pictures of the food back then. But all I could think is I was feeding my mama. She asked in the middle of the night, so I gave some to her. Little did I realize her body was shutting down and couldn't even process the food, and she just did a death growl around 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Dave and I are taking the dogs out. Came back in, and she was already passed. Called the fire department, tried to do the CPR on her. Fire department came in about 2 or 3 minutes later. I'm trying to clean up the room. I'm trying to get room for the firefighters to come in. Dog's trapped in the bathroom, so fire department would have some access. And the fire department came in, and they fought like hell. But I had to be stayed out of the way. I guess there was just no room in the apartment during that time. But after the fire department left, and they always leave a mess. You notice there's no one assigned to a station to go to an area to clean things up. It's always the homeowner, resident, renter that cleans things up. But that's what I did. At least to a portion, we got the dogs taken care of, and Dave and I had to rush over to the hospital. We waited till we got escorted. We're going to be transferring in there for a time. Critical care unit. They fought like hell to keep her alive. I was trying to use a portable tape recorder to get all the stuff somewhere buried in tons of file drives. It's the last words I was talking about, but I never got the last words of Mama. Wish I had. Had a discussion with her like a night or two before she passed. She was somewhat coherent, but not much. When she passed away, we were still in the process of getting evicted out of the apartment. I guess we were the only handicapped place available in the place. I don't know what that reason was. We got out. We had to look for other places. Found a place. Had people move us from one place to another place in this town of Roseman into a trailer home. For about a year and a half, it became home. And during that time, Dave and I went to school. Dave couldn't complete, but I tried to continue on. But we ran into a situation where we just couldn't deal with it. Got homeless. We were among several families that got kicked out. One reason or another, we found ourselves over at Mojave Courthouse and dealing with it over there. We either had to come up with $5,000 at the time, or else we were out of the house by the first. So much for having Christmas. We celebrated Christmas. We had stuff put up. One tree, no decorations, just a tree. We did our thing, and then that evening took the tree down. Boxed things up, trying to get things packed away as much as we could. Stored, because we didn't know how long we were going to be on the street. But our only transportation burned out on us. So we were kind of stuck with a moving van. Limited time, but it was still a saving grace. And we depended upon the kindness of strangers, of family members, of friends that turned into strangers, just to keep a roof over our head, just to keep a motel room. Embarrassing? Try terrifying. And during this time, my brother lost his father. Months before we left, Dave gotten word about his father slipping and falling, hitting his head, trying to collect mail. Ended up in a coma. We heard about it. Dave had to argue and fought with his family to get him released. As in leave the mortal plains. And also for his current wife too. It was an ugly legal situation happening during that time. But in the end, my brother's father died. I guess that was the last time I actually talked to him, was before the coma, before the slip and fall. We'd gotten a couple of Christmas presents from his family. Walmart cards actually did help a great deal. And I guess maybe that was the closest thing I came to having a father. Didn't realize it. Didn't realize that unofficially throughout the years he adopted me as one of his own. Without the legality, but he did adopt me as a kid of one of his. I guess he already knew about my own biological sperm donor, never showed up, so it was nice. And it really got to me when he died. Dave couldn't do it. He just could not release the grief. He already lost Ma, now he was losing his father and everybody else he cared about. Yeah. Me, on the other hand, everybody else I cared about was leaving away. Just either by connection or by anything else. So, I mean, his father died when we were in the last days of living in a trailer home in Roseman, California. And then about a month of survival between January and the end of February. Somewhere in there was 30 days plus. And I guess maybe it was the entire January. It was hard dealing with that. A person a month getting kicked out by CHB, actually by the sheriff's department, and then yeah. I'm not gonna say that. Imagine spending your birthday on the streets. Well, a lot of people do. It's hard to sell for them to celebrate and be happy about something that they feel miserable about. Maybe some little act of kindness or love would help bring some humanity back into the situation or the day. It was hard during those days. I tried to get the memories out of Facebook yesterday, but I can't even do that. Wish I could go back to those days and get that information reposted and saved and salvaged somehow. Because it was pretty damn lousy during those days. But I guess after one or two more days, we were actually able to lose the van because we had to turn it in before we get busted. We did. But then the next day we had people coming over to help us out. And I mean outside of the motel room. During that time we had word from the veterans group and the Salvation Army at the time. They were working on an apartment for us. When we started the homeless situation, we had gone over to a meeting hall, spent overnight, then drove all the way to the nearest Salvation Army where they actually had a VA rep, a Veterans Affairs rep somewhere. And we talked. We got all the information from Dave, and it worked. That's why it took about a month. Was being in the streets, but in a motel room. Some people probably consider it a vacation. Maybe if I had looked at it as a vacation, but I didn't. Because we got out of a home that Dave and I was trying to build up on, and we made bad decisions of holding on to the damn thing. Things you'll learn, things you have to keep doing. If you don't, you're screwed. Anyway, we got the call. We had to wait about another day or two. That's why we had to stay another night or two at the motel. Then we had people from program help us to the place with our dogs. Signed the lease, and we had this place 10 years ago. 10 years ago. Even with all this faults and even with the problems itself, I'm still here. I'm still surviving. It's hard enough when I have to keep thinking about all the other stuff that happened around that time. We had gone through a lot. We hadn't mourned. We were just on a constant survival. Neighbors helped us out with food, cooking utensils, pots, pans, plates, just to make the place somewhat livable. We had furniture moving in, donated. No gripes or grumbles. Had another person from program came in, and we actually had furniture from the storage room that we actually put the furniture in there. We had to. We had to do what we had to do what I had to do. It's been it's been 10 years in this place. I barely remember some of the stuff that happened and other things I did. I remember it's almost barely the same way when my family was living in a house in Reseda on a street called Clare for about 12 years. Sometimes I can remember the memories that were just shortly there'll be more monthly allotment coming from the government, and my rent will be paid. Be more bills settled out and finances adjusted. Ready to deal with another month. The monthly thing continues every month. Sometimes I look at it as so much of a routine that I don't appreciate enough and don't even realize it. I need to do more and more of that. A long time ago as a kid I celebrated birthdays until I get into workplaces, and if you're lucky people recognized it. If not, well, maybe the family would once in a while take you out if they had the money for it. Go to a restaurant. Other times it's just getting through the day. Like yesterday was. All the damn crap happening in the politics and everything else. People want to freak me out left and right, and I can't do that because I won't allow it. I won't. It's not needed, and I'm not going to do it. Nobody else likes it. On that one. I wanted to make something special out of it. I wanted to sleep. Instead, I still spent some time with my dog. I think that was more important. Me getting out the video sometimes I think is important too. Not necessary, but just important to get things out. Something to veg out on. I've kept debating whether or not if I actually wanted to go for special food. I did, and I do DoorDash. I'd gotten groceries. Not any of it was special, just I had to get grub. Grub to last maybe 2 or 3 more days. Share with my dog. Depends on the food that you share with your dog. If I'm going to share a hamburger, it means I fry up the hamburger myself personally. No spicing, no anything else, just plain burger, and I gotta get rice fixed for her. And I would mix it in with a meal and give it to her. Or chicken, mix that with rice so things get absorbed and she would actually have something to eat. I was trying to avoid the feelings of grieving and loss and everything else going on. But it just wasn't coming into my memories of what this time was also supposed to have been. January. Besides the birthday month and freaking out because February would come out and depress the crap out of you? No. And not because of school? No. Homeless. Oh yeah, so now I had those feelings to reconcile. It's going to be the end of January of 2025. Now I have the rest of the year to deal with. Come what may. But that's what I got to say for right now. So I'll post this a little bit later. Not just yet. I still got some time to spend with the puppy. She must be obeyed, needs attention.